Look at the camera and tell me how much I love
it.
That's not true. Afternoon garage. So last week we had a lot of fun putting in this rear window, and I figured, hey, let's do that again and put in the front windshield. I'm gonna have to grab a helper for this, and of course we're gonna go through all the trim bending and all the fun that I went through with this, but I hear it's a little more difficult. Let's get started. Wow, this is an original Porsche part, and that doesn't fit very well. Look at the gap. I have a lot of work to do with these. Alright, well I started with that back window, as you know, and well, I switched to the front because I just kind of found out that gasket was going to work for me. So it kept on sucking in on the corners and wrapping itself around, and I could never get the trim on. I don't know what the heck that gasket would be used for. I mean, it definitely wouldn't have worked on any different car that I was working on, and well, I guess that's what you get for $40. You get something that goes in the trash can. Now, the one I bought was $146. Now, onto the front, this one is a Euro Parts, a gasket. Once again, I'm a cheap bastard, so I went with the cheapest thing I could possibly get. And I saw another video online with a gentleman with a yellow 911 where he had success using this. He had to put a little butyl in the corners to kind of shore it up a little bit, but you know, I'm kind of willing to do that and learn how to use one of the cheaper seals, because I think the original Porsche seal for this is $175, $200, somewhere in that neighborhood. And what if I could use one for $50 and make it work and figure out that? I'm much more into that than, well, working out 200 bucks. So anyway, I did shape this trim as I talked about before, and what I did is I shaped it to the shape of the opening in the window, which is completely incorrect. So you definitely don't want to do that. So what I've done is I took it and I put it on here, and I can see that, well, the dimensions are just completely incorrect for this glass. What I've come up with is people on the internet say, you know, maybe what you should do is just shape it to the shape of the glass right on the edge of the glass, and that'd be pretty good. It'd probably get you pretty close. But I think something even better would be is just to put the seal on like I've done here, and then shape it to where it's dead smack in the middle of the seal. Another thing is like I said before, you kind of want to get, not only do you want to get it straight, but you want to get it on plane so that, you know, you don't have a gap on one side or the other of the trim there. And well, that's just really difficult to do. So what I've come up with is I'm just running back and forth to the vise, and if I need it, and just kind of bending it by hand. It is dead soft aluminum and it bends pretty easy, but well, let's look at this other side. All right, so you can see here what I'm working with, and like I said, I got this really kind of lined up with the opening there, and well, you can see that this radius isn't even the same here. It's completely different. Well, I don't know what we got going on down here, but this is actually closer than this side. You can see this bend in here. It's just absolutely way too much. And well, I got the other side done, and let's go check out the results I'm trying to look for. All right, look at this. So the corners are really nice and tight. No real gaps up in there. This corner fits pretty well without any gaps. And all the way, sits all the way flat into the end, no real wavy spots. So that looks pretty good.
2 hours later.
Okay, this took me a little bit. Didn't take me that long really to bend this up. Basically the trim fits kind of flat. I think I'm going to work on this corner a little bit more before I go to pop it back in. Just going to bend it just kind of little by little here and get it to sit as flat as possible.
Much later.
So I'm going to try to put this trim in now. So it's a little soapy water in the groove. Alright, that's pretty good. Definitely need to work on this a little bit more to get the gasket up into the seal. Actually, that just did it. So, these things here, we'll put them together. Alright, now what we're trying to do is, I think I'll get this on the other side of this, but what has to happen here now is I have to put a string in here, and I think I'm going to get, I'm not really quite sure what this other gasket's for. It's probably just maybe a redundant gasket that may help stop some water, but I think that's going to impede my progress here, so I'll get it on the other side before I start.
Hours later. What are you gonna say to the camera?
It's hot in here.
Besides that,
It's very hot.
you like this job? Look at the camera and tell me how much I
I love it.
That's not true. Well, now I got the wipers on it. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? So yeah, this trim fit a lot better than the rear window. Doesn't have any gaps at all. Kind of a little bit disappointed about how wide this gasket is, but I realize that, you know, there's lots of problems getting the original seal to fit, and well, this one fits pretty good, and I think all I'm going to really have to do is maybe just put a little bit of silicone here in the corners to make sure it doesn't leak on the floor, but I'll have to monitor that and see if it's going to be a problem. If you got anything out of this, give me a like, subscribe if you can, and well, let's get back to that engine next time.